Hello everyone, hi guys, hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day, and today we are here with an Ankou guide for old school RuneScape, a continual grind of just trying to get all the Slayer guides out there that I can, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you do, make sure to let me know what you'd want to see in the future down below, and also leave a like if you do enjoy. In addition, I do have links down below in which you can support me on other platforms if you'd like, and that would also be appreciated as well. But with that said, let's go ahead and get on into the guide. So starting off, for Ankou, should you kill them? In my opinion, you should. They are decent XP in terms of just melee. You can't really cannon them, so like high level players won't really want to come here too much for the XP, but for low to mid level players it's perfectly fine XP. And then it is also a fast task as well for most Slayer Masters. Kind of once you hit those higher levels, you don't really have that long of an Ankou task. Early on they might be a bit tougher, but for the most part these things will ring true. As far as the requirements, I would say 60s in your combats is probably a good place to start if you're going to come here with melee. It's not a requirement, but the lower combat stats you come here with, the more you'll have to bank if you are not praying melee. And along with that, you can come here at any mage and range level because there's a safe spot available. In addition to that, Ankou are weak to essentially everything, so you can use whatever you want and not feel bad about it because their defense is, they're essentially a punching bag. Their attack style is melee, so like I said, either pray melee or have decent defense and defensive gear. You should be able to be close to bank, so it's not too big of a deal. And then finally, the max hit of these is 8 to 10, so decently high. There's variance in what levels the Ankous are, so that's why the max hit changes, but it's not too bad. Beyond that, as far as what to expect drop wise, there's not too much at Ankous. There's a 1 in 256 chance of hitting the drop table for a totem piece. You have a 1 in 180 chance for a Konar key, and a 1 in 512 chance of a hard clue, so not that great in terms of the hard clue. But overall, you get about 900 GP a kill, mostly in runes, but you're not going to be able to pick up the full 900. You'll probably pick up closer to like maybe 600-700 GP per kill. So it's a little bit of money, but not too much. Then in terms of the melee gear, they're all listed down below as far as kind of the med to high level type stuff here, what I'd really recommend you coming here with. On the left hand side, that's basically a setup for 60 defense, in the middle is a setup for 70 defense, and on the right hand side is essentially a max setup. All of the items I use in those setups are listed down below, so you can check those out if you'd like. Also, just use whatever weapon you like. Like I said earlier, they're weak to essentially everything, so whatever weapon you have that fits the style of combat you're trying to gain XP in, doesn't really matter, just go ahead and use it. And if you're either too low level to where you take too much damage, or you're just high level and don't want to care about anything, so you just pray melee and go AFK, Proselyte or Initiate are some options there so that you can switch out for your plate and legs slots. It's also a nice little thing to bring if you're going to the Catacombs, because that's a multi-area, so praying is necessary there. And then as far as alternative gear, here are a few things that you can choose from. The far left and far right are just both extremely low setups meant for people that are safe spotting and really have no other way to kill Ankou. And then the middle setup is more of just a high level range alternative for people that are just looking to train some range. Would stay away from the blowpipe, it's going to get nerfed, and also it just costs a ton. So MSB is the way I would go, and again, all that stuff is listed down below. And then in terms of what rates of Slayer you can expect if you're trying pretty hard, if you're in the 70s of combats, it's about 17k Slayer XP per hour. If you're in the 85s range, it's about 22k XP per hour. Max melee is 28k, and then max melee plus piety is 33. You can get up to about 40 with the cannon as well if you want to bring that. And if you're looking for the XP rates in terms of melee XP or how much combat XP you'll be getting per hour, just multiply these rates by 4. So now that you know the gear setups and most everything that goes into Ankou, as far as what your inventory should look like, this is what a high-level player's inventory would be looking like for the most part. You have a teleport to a Slayer Master, a teleport to your house, which is an ease of access way of getting around. You also have some super combat potions along with a Drayman staff, which I use for the fairy rings between tasks, and a bunch of cannonballs. So that's essentially what I'm bringing along with the cannon setup and a bunch of food. If you want to bring prayer, just switch out the food with prayer pots and you'll be good to go. I also have a couple teleports here with the Xerix Talisman and the Glory to the other Ankou places we will talk about. But the first one of note is in the Stronghold Slayer Cave over here right behind Steve or Neve or whatever Slayer Master you got there. Don't ask what the difference is, don't tell. And then then as far as once you're in here, just go ahead and head on to the east, and you'll see that there's a little Ankou cove over here in the far corner, and that is where you're going to want to go. So I'm bringing range to these places just to kind of show you a couple safe spots. I mean, really all you have to do is just go in there and AFK melee. There's a couple little nice spots so you can go there. And then once I'm in here, I would just set down the cannon about over here so you have access to a couple different rooms with the cannon. Kind of ups the XP per hour. And I mean, other than that, you really just get the cannon going and go AFK. That's why I love tasks like this. Nice, quick, and easy. My task currently is just about 70 to 80, and I think that's about the most people will be getting. So it's pretty doable. But as you can see here, like I have 99 defense. Granted, not dressed up in good defensive armor, but I'm still kind of getting torched, so that is why it's a little iffy here. And honestly, you're close enough to a bank here, you won't have to really worry too much if you're taking too much damage. So it's pretty easy here. That's basically the main spot I would say that people are going to kill these at. The other one, in terms of what I think is the most popular, is at the Catacombs. So you can get there by using the Xeric's Talisman and going to the fourth option. And if you don't have that, find your way on over to the current castle. You can do that in a few different ways. There's a house teleport down here that you can run northwest from. You can also take a boat over here. There's another teleport over here if you don't have the full Xeric's thing unlocked. There's a lot of different ways to get here. Probably at this point in Slayer but if not, you can always take the boat from Port Sarum over there to the east. So once you're down in here, just go ahead and head on south, and we'll be able to find ourselves down to the little Ankou area. You'll just run by some ghouls here and some cyclopses. You'll be okay, but you will want to pray melee before you go on down there. It's kind of a little shit show down there, but it is what it is. There's just a lot of them, and I mean, it's a really nice thing, honestly. Like whenever I'm trying to AFK, it gets the job done. It keeps me in constant combat as long as you're just moving around and keeping your aggression timer going. I mean, there's just a ton here, and you'll be good to go. Can't lay down a cannon or anything down here. I've never really tried or cared enough to burst or barrage them. I mean, I'd imagine you could, but personally, I would just come down here and start using it for melee XP and whatnot. So those are the melee options. As far as the range safe spotting ones, here in the Stronghold, basically what I would do is just drag the Ankou to the end of their tile range, which is about right here, and then they will just kind of get pinned back into these walls. As you can see, they won't really know what to do, and they're just free money. So you get easy XP, easy kills. It's a little annoying because you kind of have to drag them on over here, so if you don't want to do that, if you have too long of a task to be asked to even do that, I understand. If that's the case, I would go on over to the Barbarian Stronghold of Security, which is where I'm going to head to now. Once you enter the Stronghold Security, you should be able to just go on through it if you've completed it before. If you haven't, I highly recommend you just run through it and learn the whole thing, because it's just, it's nice to know some things about account security because it's just important. And on top of that, I mean, this is something that I feel like most people have done in the game. So you probably know. If not, you have to give it a whirl because, I mean, geez, it's just a lot of life lessons to be learned there if you actually take the time to, go ahead and listen. But beyond that, once you got on down to the bottom layer, which is where we're going to be at right now, you got to find the little Ankou spot in there. There's just a beautiful little safe spot. So here's the spot. Basically, you come down this ladder, you just go a little bit to the southwest, and you'll find yourself in the main Ankou area. A lot of Ankou, very few skeletons, good place to be. Basically, early on, you are going to be aggro down here, so it's going to be a bit annoying. But in theory, after a good bit, you should be fine just standing back here. I'd recommend taking a little bit of food because you will be getting dealt some damage here and there, so you won't be totally safe. But there's a nice little spot right here behind a couple skeletons that after your aggro timer runs out, you'll be perfectly fine back here, not much to worry about. And honestly, even if you have an Ankou right here, it's still very hard. You're gonna, and a monster's gonna have to run through here, get all the way back here, and right to you. So you should be good, but again, bring a little bit of food just in case. But that is going to be it for this Ankou's guide. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Anything you want to tell me, any videos you want to see from me, let me know in a comment down below. And on top of that, if you guys want to see more videos like this as soon as they go live, make sure to subscribe. And with that said, hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, and peace.